Welcome to another night in the NBA. This is your 10-minute recap of the last night of NBA hoops, and this is a night with 9 games of NBA action, but I want to start us off with what I believe is the main topic, which was the Magic facing off against the Indiana Pacers. This was a matchup of the number 1 ranked defense in Orlando and the number 1 ranked offense in the Pacers, and it was a blowout. The Magic destroyed the Pacers in this game. There was a little bit of a second half comeback, but really this was basically what felt like a 30-point victory for Orlando. It felt like it wasn't even close, and the top defense takes down the top offense. It was a matchup of 2 younger teams that look like they're climbing up the standings in the Eastern Conference and asserting themselves as legitimate contenders, or at the very least, legitimate playoff teams in the East. And they both look really good to start the year. Indiana was 7-4 heading into this game, and the Magic, were 7-5. But the Magic take this one and they take the better record. They are now 8-5 on the season and send the Pacers to 7-5. And a team in Indiana that has averaged 126 points per game so far this season only puts up 116, and the Magic put up 128. They get 24 points from Paolo Banchero, who really didn't do much of anything besides scoring in this game, but he could score and he did it well. 9 of 14 from the field, very efficient. Franz Wagner has 19 for Orlando as well, along with 7 rebounds and 2 steals. The duo of Franz and Banchero continues to look like one of the best young wing duos in the entire league right now. They're so good both offensively, and both of them are solid defensively. So the duo of the 2 of them has been really successful so far this season and looks really good. Then they have Jalen Suggs, who has 18 points in this game, 1 steal, 3 rebounds, but 6 of 8 from the field. Just a super efficient offensive outing for Jalen Suggs, who looks like he's turning his career around this year and is just a super positively impactful defender. Suggs is up in everybody's face all the time, and he's giving all of his effort all the time. If you're looking for someone who's like a complete tryhard out there, watch some Jalen Suggs, because the effort he gives is incredible. He's still not quite the playmaker that people expected when he came out of college, but just does everything you want from him except for really shooting the ball all that well from 3. But outside of that, I think if you're an Orlando fan, you're really happy with how Suggs has kind of turned around what looked like an underperforming player early on in his career. But I believe it's year 3 now for Jalen Suggs, and I've been really impressed with how he's looked for Orlando to start the year. Still no Wendell Carter Jr. or Markelle Fultz for Orlando in this game, but it didn't matter. They start Goga Bitadze at center, who's been a positive presence, 8 points, 8 rebounds, 2 assists in this game. He doesn't really take away from what people do, which is the best thing about Goga when he's out there on the floor. And Anthony Black plays 24 minutes. He started in place of Markelle Fultz, and I think he's looked really good as a rookie. This is probably the worst game he's had, but I was still, overall, you're pretty happy with Anthony Black right now. Mo Wagner has 16 points in this game, and Mo Wagner has looked way better this year than in years past. Maybe it's playing alongside his brother Franz, although they did play together last year, or it's that year of World Cup experience, winning the World Cup this summer, both of them for Germany. But Mo Wagner has looked like a much improved, better player this season, and Gary Harris looks much more like the guy we saw in Denver than what we had seen in Orlando to this point. 13 points in this game, 4 of 6 from the field for Gary Harris, and Cole Anthony continues to score well off the bench with 15 for Orlando. They shoot 49% from the field and struggle from 3 at 35%, but that's pretty typical of what you're going to get from Orlando. But the big thing is the really impressive defensive game they put up, because they hold Indiana to 8 of 31 from three-point range, and they've been one of the better shooting teams and offensive teams in general. They've been the best offensive team in the league so far this season, but they only shoot 44% from the field, 25% from 3, and 77% from the line. It felt like Orlando was completely in their heads, and they just kind of struggled from everywhere. And Tyrese Haliburton, who's been one of the best guards in the league so far this season, wasn't good in this game. 12 points, 4 of 14 from the field, and a minus 30, which is atrocious. He had 2 points in the first half on 0 of 7 shooting, and it just didn't look like the Haliburton we've seen all season, and a lot of that is because of Jalen Suggs, who again is a great defender, and Anthony Black is a pretty solid defender as well for a rookie. They're led in scoring by Jordan Nwora off the bench, 19 points on 8 of 11 shooting, but overall it just wasn't a good outing from Indiana. They only get 6 from Obi Toppin. Miles Turner only puts up 10 on 3 of 10 shooting. Ben Mathurin in this game, 4 of 12 from the field, and it just felt like no one that usually plays well for them could get it going offensively, and because of that, Orlando takes his victory. And the Orlando Magic are a legitimate, like really solid playoff team in the Eastern Conference, and I think they've proved that throughout the early part of this season because their defense is elite and their offense is good enough to get it done, because in a matchup of top two ends of the spectrum, the defense wins out, and their defense has been really impressive, and the Magic have arrived. But now let's shoot around the NBA, look at different outcomes, different matchups from this night, and try to get an idea of what happened on this night of NBA basketball. So, in other action from around the NBA, we did have 8 other games on this night, and let's just go through them in order. So the first game of the night, I believe, was Sixers versus Nets, a game that the Sixers win 121-99, and Joel Embiid this season has felt practically unstoppable. 32 points, 12 rebounds, and 9 assists as the Sixers move to 10-3. The Nets do get 26 points from Lonnie Walker, but they still await the return of both Cam Thomas and Ben Simmons, and they just haven't looked the same without those two guys. The Nets fall to 6-7 on the season. The Raptors blow out the Pistons 142-113 to give the Pistons their 11th straight loss. The Pistons are a horrible watch right now. Do not tune into Pistons games. I like a lot of their young guys, but they're just practically unwatchable. And the Raptors, who've been kind of hit or miss offensively, own them in this game, win by 30. Pascal Siakam, 23 points, 7 rebounds, and 6 assists. And the Pistons, their best player was Stanley Amude, who has 19. The Cavaliers beat the Nuggets, give the Nuggets their 2nd straight loss. And the Cavs go to 7-6 on the season, look way better with everyone back. Darius Garland, 26 points and 6 assists in this game. And the Nuggets need Jamal Murray back. They're just not the same without him. The Celtics beat the Grizzlies 102-100 in a game that I would say was much closer than most people expected. And the Celtics moved to 11-2, but it was not an easy victory. Kristaps Porzingis, 26 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 blocks in this game. He was fantastic, but overall the Celtics could have been much better. Santi Aldama with 28 points and 12 rebounds for Memphis. The Kings beat the Mavs 129-113, kind of pull away late in a game that the Mavs had leads in points of it, but they couldn't hold this victory out, and it is their 2nd straight night of collapsing, so I guess that's something for Dallas to watch. But the Kings, with Fox back, with Sabonis, they look so much better, and I think that they are back and are one of the best teams in the West right now. The Kings, with this win, moved to 8-4, I believe after being 3-4 because of injuries to Fox and stuff, but they've looked much better since. The Suns beat the Jazz in double overtime, 140-137, behind 39 points, 10 assists, and 8 rebounds from Kevin Durant. Not a great Devin Booker game, but they win regardless because of how excellent KD was. And the Jazz get 38 points and 17 rebounds from Lauri Markkanen, who's been great this season and was phenomenal in this game. The Thunder beat the Trailblazers 134-91, and I saw this was like the first time that a team has shot 60% from both the field and the from 3-point range, and hit 100% of their free throw attempts. So just an extremely efficient offensive outing for Oklahoma City, who now moves to 10-4 in the season, 28 points from Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. And the Trailblazers, with all their injuries right now, just don't look like an NBA team. They look like a G League team out there on most nights. And again, their best players seemingly are often Skylar Mays and Duop Reith, which just isn't enough for this team to be any good. Led in scoring by Jeremy Grant with 14. The Blazers are not exactly a motivating presence right now. And as I'm talking right now, the Lakers and Rockets are tied late in the fourth quarter, 104-104. So when this video comes out, you'll know who won that game. But at this point, we do not. So as I always want to do, let's move into the last segment of the night, which is the top 5 players on this night according to the Real Sports app. And at this point, yes, there's a game going on with less than 10 seconds left, less than 2 seconds left now. It might go to overtime, actually. But let's talk about the top 5 at this point. So at number 1, we have LeBron James with 36 points, 8 assists, and 74% from the field. At number 2 is Domantas Sabonis with 32 points, 13 rebounds, and 87% from the field. Lauri Markkanen comes in at 3 with 38 points and 17 rebounds. De'Aaron Fox at 4 with 30 points, 7 assists, and 6 made threes. So both the Fox and the Ox in the top four. And then at number 5, we have Kevin Durant with 39 points, 8 rebounds, and 10 assists. But that'll do it for this night in the NBA. Another night in the NBA. Thanks for watching. Think about subscribing. I'm on the road to 12,000 subscribers. If you enjoy the daily recaps, think about sticking around. But that'll be it for me. I'm Herm. Have a good one.